Hey, folks, and welcome back to Glenn and Adrian's Rock Talk. That's Adrian.
It's Glenn.
And today we are going to take a look at the warning in Madrid, April 11th of this year. I happen to notice that we're recording this on April 15, so they've just had a Paris show a few days after Madrid. We've been really curious about how these shows would go because the last we had checked in with the warning, they had to cancel the remaining 3 dates on their South American tour due to illness. So we are happy to see them up and running and seemingly perfectly fine, all of them. They're going to be in Germany tonight at the Palladium, and then they're going to be in London at the O2 Academy Brixton, which is a gig we've known about for about a year. Should be fun to see the footage from that one. And that'll conclude their tour of Europe, those 4 dates. So we look forward to whatever comes out of those. So Adrian, of course, the last time we saw Survive was at Auditorio Nacional.
Oh, really? I'm just looking forward to seeing how this Madrid show went.
Yeah, okay. Sounds good. Why don't we go ahead and take a look.
But
think I've said this before, but Ollie's bass ends the song very well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of people would agree with that, actually. It's a nice way to outro the song elegantly.
Yeah, also I noticed that Charlie's Angels motif is back on the screens behind them.
Yeah, they're using the graphics that they put together for Mexico. They put a lot of time into that thing. You know, I was looking at that. One thing I love about this video is that backdrop. Those graphics are easily visible pretty much throughout the whole video. And there's a lot that I missed, I know, from the Auditorio Nacional shows, even though we had multiple camera angles, it was just tough to get the whole thing. You know, so it's nice to see it. And you can appreciate how much work went into that because, of course, those silhouettes are all the sisters. And it had to have happened over a period of time. It probably wasn't a one-day shoot. Maybe it was, but I would suspect that it might have gone longer than that, possibly. Maybe they were doing a few things. You know, I mean, if we look at all the graphics in the entire show, maybe there was a way to do a few things, you know, on one day, come back and do more. But there was so much activity, physical activity going on there, and so much, they were fairly choreographed. I mean, it was a little bit, it wasn't all that informal. It seems to me that they came up with the moves and then carried them out pretty much the same way that they would write a song or, you know, put together a storyboard for a video or something like that. They all know what they're going to do, and they're interacting together, you know, so it all has to work. And then they're putting out all this energy. And it's just an amazing thing. Of course, Pau and Danny are both mouthing the lyrics, and you can see that in the silhouette because they're doing profiles, so you can see their mouths move, you know. So just to appreciate how much work that is. I mean, you have to shoot that, you know, and they can probably just shoot it in one place. They don't have to worry about, you know, zooming out or cameras changing or anything like that. They can probably just be against a screen and do it there, and then through the editing process, do those things where they go, you know, off into the background and, you know, but they have to interact with each other, and there has to be a whole thing they do. They have to make sure they get every shot, you know, because it all came out looking great. You know, it didn't look like anything was just like, oh, well, we'll just try this and okay, that's fine. No, it was carefully planned, you know, and there was a ton of work that went into just that one video alone. You know, my hat's off to the organization for putting together such complicated graphics, because most of their songs had something pretty crazy going on, you know, that took a lot of time. Did you notice also they were wearing the same thing that they wore at Auditorio Nacional? First time we saw it.
Those costumes looked familiar to me.
You know, I think those are probably fairly expensive costumes. They look designer made, you know, custom made. So, of course, if you can use them again, especially if you're putting together the same type of show. I note that this is kind of a longer show than they were doing last time they were in Europe. I think for the most part, those set lists were closer to maybe 16 songs. And I think this one's a little bit longer. Yeah, there's a lot of songs here. They didn't, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 20 entries here if you include Danny's guitar solo. So a longer show than usual. You know, I think that Auditorio Nacional itself was 22 songs, if memory serves. And also that venue, I don't know, but it seems like it was a little bigger than what I remembered them playing last time as well. So they may have stepped up, and they're playing slightly longer shows now. It used to be kind of like a large club, you know, that we'd see them in a lot of these places. I mean, it might be a theater, but kind of a smaller one. But this one seemed to have some pretty good depth to it. Yeah, so, man, that's great. You know, I'm really glad that they're stepping up in the world and that they brought the show with them. I was also looking at those screens that they used to put those graphics behind them. And notice, you know, at Auditorio Nacional, they were way up in the air on a second level. Remember, they had two levels. They really had kind of three. One was bent like that, and then, you know. But this time it was all directly behind them, and I figured, well, they're in Europe, so it might have been really expensive to try to bring the stuff they used in Mexico. Maybe it's just an actual screen projection, or I mean, I don't know. I'm curious about that. And then are they going to be using the exact same ones in each venue, or are they renting from 4 different vendors, you know, one for each show? the same type of thing, because they might be able to do that too. Like, I'm thinking, how would you go around trying to tour Europe? They've got smaller roads, smaller vehicles, and you got those big things. You know, is there a way to collapse them or what, you know? Because they're huge. You know, those things are massive looking. So that's the kind of thing I was looking at while watching this. Of course, the song came off flawless. It's always fun to hear them play that one.
The only thing about the animation, it did kind of take the attention away from the band themselves.
Oh, yeah.
Although it did feature the band themselves. So,
you know, I wouldn't mind if they released those, put them on the internet, put them on YouTube or something. You know, like, here's the warning, survive, you know, graphical backdrop or whatever for 2025. I think that would be really cool, because I would love to watch all the graphics they put together for the entire show, because I know that there's plenty that I still missed, even having seen the whole show, just because we weren't in the theater. You know what I mean? Like, I'd really like to just see the whole presentation. But yeah, power to them for moving up with their show. It's just fantastic watching their progress as they do this. Well, folks, why don't you let us know what you thought of this? Let us know if you were at the show, or if you were at Paris, or if you're going to be in Germany, or the O2 in London. Would like to know about your experiences. By the way, Beto Ramos is on this tour with them, which I understand is the first time that he's kind of gone out of the country on tour with The Warning, even though he's been associated with them now for a number of years. So congratulations to Beto on that, and looking forward to any after movies and things like that. All right, folks, if you have any thoughts on this, why don't you leave those below, as well as if you have any suggestions. Of course, share your experiences. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And if you enjoyed our presentation, please subscribe. Don't forget, we have a second channel now, Modern Rock Talk, where we're putting up interviews. And we have lots of Warning content up there already. Go check it out if you haven't yet. Okay, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll catch you on the next one. Take care, folks.
see you all later.